Hi, it's Mary with the Painted Peach here, and I'm going to show you a DIY salt wash that you can do at home. If you don't want to go out and buy it or you're not able to get it, this is a great way for you to get it at your homes. You can order most of this stuff off of Amazon or buy it in your local hardware store, your grocery store, and water's free. So I started out with 2 tablespoons of water. So I've got my water in here. The next thing I want is 3 tablespoons of plaster of Paris. You can get that in Walmart, your hardware store. You can order it on Amazon, whatever whichever way you desire. So I've got 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to stir that together and find a stick to do that with. Where did I stick it? I'm just going to stir that up. Get it nice and mixed. It might look a little runny right now, that's okay. The bottom of my jar is a little bit, got a hump in the middle, so it's not doing so well. All right, the next thing you want to do is add some kosher salt. I don't have like pickling salt or anything, but I do have sea salt, and it would be better if you had like a pickling salt, but we're going to add 1 tablespoon of that. And that's what's going to give you that nice texture. Just mix all that up. And the next thing you're going to add is whatever color paint you're going to use. I'm going to get that good and mixed, and then we're going to get our paint and get that mixed in. So the color paint I'm going to use is Mineral from Waverly. You could use acrylic paint, chalk paint, whatever route you want to go. I'm going to use chalk paint. It's going to give it a little bit more texture than acrylic paint might. So we're going to also add 2 tablespoons of paint. So where I put my, here it is. So get your measuring tool and then just add in your paint. All right. Now you're just going to make sure the texture is how you want it. It needs to be nice and thick, and you could see that salt in there. If it's not textured enough, you can add some more of your salt, which I'm probably going to do because I did notice that mine didn't seem to be as chunky as I wanted it, but we'll see. Once I get this paint in here, it might look a little different. Well, it's getting there. So just mix it really well so everything combines. You could do this with a plastic fork. It would probably work a little better, kind of like a whisk. Get everything good and mixed up. So it's going to look chunky and gross and like you ruined your paint, but you have not. You have just made salt wash. All right. Now, if you were doing different colors, of course, you'd need to mix separate batches. So I don't know if you could see it in there, but that is what the consistency should look like. And you have your very own DIY salt wash. Now I'm going to use a little sample to show you guys what salt wash will go on like. And when you apply salt wash, I'm just wiping my bottle off. I got paint all over it when I did that. When you apply salt wash, you want to use a chippy brush. and do it in pouncing motions. That way it is good and textured. So I have a very old chippy brush here. You can tell it's been through the wringer. It's got good rustiness and stuff to it. I'm just going to pick up some of my salt wash, and we are just going to go for it. I'm just going to dab it on like this. And the texture is what you're looking for anyway, so don't worry about all those clumpies. You'll see the salt and everything in there. The plaster of Paris will help it harden up and be easier to, when you go over it with your sander later, it will break down some but not all of your texture. And that is what you're looking for. So I'm just dabbing. This is what the motion you need to do. Dab it on. And then, of course, once you get it on as thick as you want here, you're going to want to sit this to the side and let it dry for 24 hours. But I'm going to speed up the process today and use my heat tool and dry it up. I'm going to bring it down on the side just a little, not too much. Well, let's just go with it. I'm just going to brush the sides with it. Let's just go with it. That way it's all the same color. And this is just an old sign I had in my bathroom that I had purchased. And we are going to redo it to something else. All right, so there is a lot of good texture going on there. I'm gonna get my heat tool out, and I'm gonna use the big one, the industrial one, and dry this bad boy up. You can see all of that beautiful texture on there. So you want to let it cool down, of course, if you do like I did. And a lot of this will chunk off if you don't. So we're going to let that cool. The formula that we used to make our own salt wash was 3 tablespoons of plaster of Paris, 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of paint, and then 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. That would work better than the, the sea salt or Himalayan salt or anything like that will work. But you definitely don't want to use table salt. It's not going to give you the same texture. All right, so we'll come back another day. I hope you give this a try, and I'll see you for part 2.